Happy Wednesday. So we are going to start with some breath work. So we're going to do a box pattern today. So I hope you all are having a fabulous day. Find a spot to get grounded, really relax your feet, really plant those feet on the ground. Find a comfy spot to sit. Breath work is great to do if you have a PEMF mat or the PEMF mat. If you are sitting on that, that would be amazing. I keep my PEMF mat on my office chair, and it actually has red light in it too as well, along with some healing frequencies. So just helps to keep you grounded throughout the day, keep you calm, and keep you centered to be able to make it throughout the day as well, especially doing a lot of energy work all day. So I encourage you to make sure that you are grounding yourself. This might mean going outside, walking barefoot, get off that concrete, and you want to put your feet in the grass or in the dirt or on the beach. So I encourage you to, in the next 2 days, to try and get outside and be barefoot and ground for at least 5 minutes. If you can do 5 minutes a day, that's great. I want it to be a realistic time frame for you. So let's start with some breathing. So sit down, find a comfy spot, flex your shoulders, and we're going to inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. 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 Two more times. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Your regular breathing and just embrace that calm state that breath work does for you. It is a very good tool and it works very quickly. So today we're going to talk about meal planning and some ideas to have for the summer, because summer can get a little bit crazy when you're trying to meal plan and you have busy schedules. So as you know, you have your card, right? So release phases on one side, maintenance phases on the other side. I do encourage you to take a picture of this so you have it when you're in the grocery store. Then that way you know what fruits you can have, what approved veggies you can have, and what other free veggies that you can have that might not be your first go-tos, especially when you're earlier on in the reset program. So take a picture of this and make sure you have it in your phone. So why meal planning matters. So time, that is our most precious commodity is time. So if we prepare multiple meals at once, this can really save a lot of time during the busy weekdays. So this can help eliminate some stress. So for example, I cook an entire sheet pan full of chicken and I just season it with salt. So then that way I can make it in multiple different dishes. I can put it in burrito bowls. I can eat it with some mixed veggies. I can put it in, a spin on an egg roll in a bowl or a spin on chicken pad thai without the noodles. So you can use it in multiple different ways. And with that protein already being cooked, that makes it a little bit easier to heat up those meals after the fact. Healthier choices. So controlling your ingredients and your portions. So by ensuring that you're still being mindful, especially in the maintenance phase of what your portion sizes are, that is going to keep you on track. So make sure you're still doing the 4 ounces of protein, 4 ounces of veggies, and 4 ounces of fruit, because that's going to keep your diet balanced and keep you consistent over time. Financial benefits. So buy ingredients in bulk. So if you have a Costco membership, I find that Costco has a lot of organic options and they have a lot of frozen organic options. So some of my go-tos are I buy their organic grass-fed burger patties that are frozen because I can throw that in a pan and I can make that in a pinch. So when I used to reach for a frozen pizza, I now can reach for a frozen grass-fed beef patty that's already in the form of a patty, and I can make it in a cast iron pan and cook it from frozen. I also really like they have frozen broccoli, they have some frozen green beans, they have cauliflower rice. They use that in burrito bowls. They do have some mixed veggie medleys that you can get as well to reduce the cost of the veggies. Fresh is usually a little bit more expensive. So if you're planning on making meals in advance and buying in bulk, then frozen veggies would be the way to go. They do have a lot of frozen organic fruit as well, and even some smoothie mixes. So just make sure that it is approved fruit on the release phase. Stress reduction. So you're eliminating all the stress of what the heck am I going to cook tonight? So by prepping those meals in advance, you know exactly what you're going to eat, and that's going to give your nervous system a peace of mind. So getting started. So you want to set aside some time, usually 1 to 2 hours a week, and choose a consistent day and make it a priority. So for me, in my week, I really like to keep my Thursday mornings as I kind of clean everything up in my kitchen and make my grocery list, go get my groceries. And sometimes I do my meal prep Thursday night, otherwise Friday mornings. So I am more of a meal prepper in the morning and then it's just done for the day. So I can get a lot done. Even if the kids sleep in, I can get a lot done before they wake up. So that helps eliminate some stress as well. Make sure you look at your inventory before you do your grocery list. So look at what's going to expire. Look in your pantry, check your refrigerator, look in your freezer. Do you have any meat that looks like, I better use that before it gets freezer burnt? Use what you have and become creative with it. And then plan your menu. So select your recipes for the week, considering your schedule if you need meals on the go or if you're going to be eating at home, and balance out your variety and simplicity. So I actually utilize what's called ChatGPT. You can put in your ingredients of what you have and it'll make meals for you. You can also put in, your approved veggies. You can put in your approved fruits and your proteins and say, make me a meal with these items. And it'll come up with some recipes for you for that. So some smart cooking strategies so you can batch some similar foods. So for example, you could roast some broccoli, mushrooms, and Brussels sprouts together, and usually around 425 degrees for 25 minutes. Where squash and carrots might take a little bit longer at 45 minutes, but you don't have to shut that oven off. So you can put some on a pan, pull that pan out, and have that other pan stay in there. And then prep your protein. So you can cook your chicken, lentils, or your favorite protein in large batches. You can store it in the fridge for 3 to 4 days. You can also freeze it in vacuum seal bags. So if you're going to freeze it, do 5 ounces if it's not cooked, or you can do the regular 4 ounces if your protein is pre-cooked. So you could pre-cook some chicken, you could pre-cook some taco meat, and then you have it in an individual serving packet ready to go to be able to eat that next meal when you're in a pinch. Buy or pre-cut produce. So wash and cut your veggies into ready-to-eat pieces. Prepare fruit in grab-and-go containers, and this helps you save time and helps you actually utilize those things. So I know that if I come home with groceries and I don't prep those veggies and the fruit, they're not going to get eaten. That's just the reality in my house. So if I go through, I wash all the veggies, I wash all the fruit, I either cut them up or I prep them and put them in glass mason jars, they will get eaten because my kids will go in there and they can help themselves. Where if it's not washed, they're not going to reach for that snack because it's not prepared for them. So you can also store them in smaller mason jars too for smaller portions if you want your kids to just grab one at a time. So flavor enhancement techniques, so you can make some homemade dressings. So you can prepare a dressing or two and store it in a mason jar. So this can really help transform your proteins. It can help transform your salads. Use different spices. So a lot of places around the world have a lot of bold spice flavors that they'll use in their dishes. We don't really have a huge spice profile in the standard American diet, and spices actually have a lot of healing benefits to them as well. So don't be afraid to branch out and explore some different opportunities and experiment with other country spices. And then fresh herbs. So you can have, it's the time of year where you can have a small herb garden. This could be in your windowsill. This could be on your patio table. You could just have a couple pots full of fresh herbs. And fresh herbs are so much more, they're just so much more alive when you cook with fresh herbs. So it elevates the flavors and you're getting that, straight from your plant into your dish, which is going to have more benefits to it as well. Shop seasonally. So we're almost into farmers market season here. So we want to be able to eat what is in season where we live. So this allows for freshness and flavor. So locally and seasonally grown foods are often harvested at their peak ripeness and are more flavorful and nutritious. Nutritional value. So you're going to control the ingredients and the portions, make better nutritional decisions, and maintain a balanced diet. You're going to be supporting local. The nutrients are going to be better in the food because it hasn't been in the back of a semi truck driving across the country where all the nutrients and enzymes are dying. So the more local you can eat, the better off you are. Getting a diversity in your diet. So you're going to enjoy a wider range of fruits, veggies, and other foods as you adapt to what's available locally during different times of the year. So if you eat seasonally, you're going to be getting a wide variety of foods throughout the year, which is what we want. We don't want to be eating the same thing every day because then your body gets kind of used to it. So maybe you eat carrots every day. There's going to come a point where the body's like, whoa, I've had enough carrots. Like we need to switch it up a little bit. So even though carrots are healthy, the body can still say, hey, I've had enough and I need something else. And then cost savings. So seasonal foods are often more affordable because they require fewer resources to produce and transport. And this can lead to cost savings for you. So meal prep container systems. So I will share this Canva link here and you will get access to each of these sheets. So jar salads, you can layer all your veggies in a jar and have your dressing in the bottom and then keep your crispy greens on top. And then you have a whole jar salad ready to go to be able to take with you to work or on the go. Sheet pan meals, you're combining the protein and veggies all in one tray. You're going to season them really well. And this helps really create a complete meal in only one pan. And then power bowls. So you can have a grain base or cauliflower rice, a protein source. You can add in some free veggies. You can add in a sauce. You can enjoy a well-balanced meal all in one bowl. And they make it kind of fun because you can switch it up and you still use you can use a lot of different foods to put in a bowl. And I personally am a big fan of bowls. So building your meal prep toolkit. So you want to really have some high quality containers. I like the Pyrex glass containers. You want to invest in glass, especially if you're buying new ones. Otherwise, a mason jar with a lid works really great. So that is one of my go-to containers is mason jars. They're cheap, they're affordable. If they break, they aren't the end of the world to replace and find a same container with that lid. Use sheet pans for efficient cooking. So I like the Our Place sheet pans. and they help because they're non-stick and they're not toxic. So then that way I can make everything on one sheet pan and be good to go. You all have your scale, so keep those measuring tools handy to make sure you are getting enough protein, veggies, and fruit. And then create a planning system that works for you. So find what day of the week works best for you to get your groceries. Find what day works best for you to do your meal prep. Is this going to be a consistent day every week, or is there going to be some variation based on your schedule, depending on, your shift work schedule, your kids, your spouse? So just keep that in mind and make sure that it's realistic for you and doable for you. If you have a busy couple weeks coming up, don't be afraid to make a couple extra meals and freeze them, or at least freeze the protein so you're able to have that pre-cooked and ready to go. So you will get copies of all of these documents in that link. So it has all your tools for meal prep. So your journal, your recipe. Like I said, you can use ChatGPT, put all the ingredients that you have on hand into ChatGPT, and it can make some recipes for you. A strainer, preferably stainless steel, is really nice to be able to rinse off all of your fruits and veggies. You can also put a strainer inside a metal bowl. Fill that metal bowl with some vinegar and some water. Let your veggies and fruit soak, and then you just pull that strainer out and rinse them off. Dish towels are always handy. Tools for cutting, sharp knives. I actually have some Pampered Chef knives that I really like. There's two, and those are my go-tos all the time. Cutting boards, you want to make sure you have a really hardwood cutting board. And if you have plastic cutting boards, try and get away from the plastic and get to, I believe the cutting board that I just purchased, I need to look it up, but it is a nice one. I got it from a culinary store in the cities. It was expensive, but I love it. I seal it often with some, I believe it's like a honey beeswax bar that I seal it with. So make sure you're sealing those wood cutting boards too. And then your food scale, your measuring cups, food thermometer, especially if you're cooking chicken, make sure that it is cooked. I do prefer wooden spatulas, or I do have some silicone ones. So making sure that you have non-toxic there. The storage containers you can get at Costco. They are pretty affordable for glass ones at Costco. And then making sure you have non-toxic cookware for cooking. I'll give you some sample sheets of these to be able to plan out your breakfast, your lunch, and your dinner, and writing it down is sometimes helpful. So remember to start slow, grow gradually. So begin with one change. You're going to start with one simple change, one meal prep habit, master that first, and then go on to the next step. Add new techniques. So incorporate additional strategies over time, build on your success, and expand your horizon there. And create sustainable habits. So develop your own system, make meal planning a habit in second nature, and enjoy the compounding benefits, because it might seem time consuming at first, but in the long run, it really does help ensure that your body is nourished so you're able to function and you're able to make it through that busy time. So I encourage you to all stay on track. Make sure you are meal prepping and you are nourishing your body so your nervous system stays calm and you're able to keep up with all of the crazy things going on in the summer.